What's good, YouTube? Casey the Quiet Warrior here. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to support yourself more. So I got 6 tips and a couple little bonus trinkles in there. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Number 1, meditate to connect with your higher self. And the reason I say this is, if you watch any spiritual YouTubers, or if you were spiritual, already, before even knowing, any of the spiritual content creators on YouTube that are, well known. Meditate, you can connect with your higher self. And if you're wondering what your higher self is the voice that you hear within your head. Now, there are 2 voices are in your head. One is your higher self, and one is the one that's always, hating and bringing upon and bringing forth negative energy and negative emotions and negative thoughts and things of that nature. But it's the one that always, is there in the shadows supporting you and helping you out. A lot of people just, you tend not to realize this until you start to meditate, because you are able to connect with that higher, self, and you are able to ask questions and seek forth answers and build a better connection to therefore differentiate the two, and to also, be able to support yourself more with the decisions you make. Because like I said, the higher self is the one that supports you and can bring upon, answers that you need to, get clarification of, and just to be there overall, with decisions in life, and just overall the support factor. And you know what I mean when I say it's 2 voices in your head. Everybody dealt with it before. So, don't think I'm crazy or none of that. But, yeah, like I said, meditate to connect with your higher self, because your higher self is the one that's always been there. You just may not have really been connected with it all the way. So your higher self is the one that supports you, helps you make your decisions and go about life, and is overall there for you, when you are going through problems. And you know what I mean by that. But that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, don't get upset about making mistakes. Understand mistakes happen in life. I don't care, when anybody says you can ask, your favorite rich guru or anybody that's successful. If they told you they never made mistakes along their journey, they straight up lying, bro. Straight up lying. Because eventually, with anything that you are doing, because, in life you have to go through experiences and learn from mistakes and new things that you may not have known of before. So when you do make mistakes, understand that mistakes happen, and to not beat yourself up for that. Understand that. So therefore, you don't make that same mistake again. And after you do make mistake, after that moment, after you do make that mistake, don't sit up there and, feel embarrassed or feel like you're a failure, or beat yourself up, or feel angry or sad or anything. Don't bring forth any negative emotions after you make a mistake, because that's what leads to discouragement, and that could really hold a lot of people back from even trying to learn from what they did wrong and trying to push through and succeed. And that's another video that I previously made. So yeah, after that moment, don't start bringing forth negative emotions and negative thoughts. Be there to support yourself. Understand, it's okay. Mistakes happen. Don't, bring forth any negative energy. Utilize, what you to go forth into the same situation or the next situation, knowing what you need to do in order to not make that same mistake again. And this really ties in similar with number 3 too, but it's a little different also. So number 3, don't think of L's as losses. Use them to learn. And what I mean by L's, because I feel like mistakes and losses, they have their similarities, but they also have their differences also. So that's, what something I just wanted to quickly clarify real quick. But what I mean by L's is anything from the test, from you not getting the grade you want, from you not making the basketball team or the soccer team, the football team, you know, you not being able to get, a pair of sneakers on the sneakers app, if you know about that. Just in general with anything, you not getting that job application, not getting approved for the job. Don't think of them as L's. Don't think of them as L's, because if you weren't even presented the opportunity or the idea in the first place, then it really wasn't meant for you in the first place to be presented to you. So even if the idea or the thing is presented to you and brought forth to you, that's already saying that, this was meant to be in your life for some type of reason, quote unquote L's or losses were meant to be in your life for some sort of reason. You just have to know how to navigate through them and not to think of them as L's, because that's what leads to discouragement and from, people ultimately not trying again and not trying to push forward and learn from, not what they necessarily did wrong, but learn from what they can do better, So therefore, when they go into the next situation or the next, scenario or things of that nature, they have a higher percentage rate of, getting whatever they want to get done or get whatever they want to achieve. So they have that higher success rate. And that's, just a quick differentiate between the two of making mistakes and losses. When you take L's, use, what you had, from that situation, what happened in that situation, and capitalize off that, and also and visualize and come to a realization of what you can do next time, what you can do better next time. So when you go into that next situation or that next scenario, that you will have a higher success rate. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the journal, and that ties in, kind of with number 2 and number 3 also. But journaling, because journaling is really the key to, improving with anything. And this is something that I touched on in the previous video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but, most people will be able to understand and interpret of how, you can support yourself more from journaling. But either way, I'm going to talk about it. So when you journal, you can overall, sit there and reflect and come to a realization over the thoughts that you are putting down on a piece of paper. And when you do that, you're able to have more of a mental clarity. You're able to, weed out the negative emotions and not be so hard on yourself and beat yourself up. And you're able to gain, new things that you may not even know just from writing down, the experience that you had just in that day alone. Because, ultimately with 3 and 2, all three of those are kind of the same. 2, 3, and 4 are, all the same in their own ways, but they have their own differences. So when you journal, you'll just be able to gain a realization and learn, instantly, just from right there, of what happened in that moment. And like I said, you'll be able to have a better mental clarity, weed out the negative thoughts and negative emotions that you may have, and be able to gain something new from that experience that you had in that moment. That's why journaling is so important, because it creates that mental clarity, so therefore you are not discouraged, and you gain something from that immediately in that moment. Because journaling is, not to try to go on too much of a babble, but it's overall just getting out mental clarity and coming to a realization of what happened in that experience. So all three of those are similar, but they have their differences in their own ways. So yeah, that's number 4. Number 5, and these are the ones that have some bonuses in it too. When you are feeling discouraged, sad, or upset, take action, because if you are going through something, and regarding discouragement, sadness, or being upset, it's not good just to sit there and be complacent and not do anything about it. That can lead to major, major, big time problems. So that's why I wrote that. Take action. Think of other people's situation, but overall try not to compare it, even though that sounds kind of contradicting and doesn't really make sense. Think of it as, it could always be worse, and that's the truth, because um a lot of people, and that's something that I'm gonna get into also, but a lot of people don't live the same. A lot of people don't have the same financial freedom that other people have. A lot of people are, not as financially blessed as other people, or didn't have a good upbringing. Some people may have. You get what I'm trying to say, though. Most people, have their differences, and they don't, all had the same access to things, as far as, financially, or just in general in life, that some other people may have. So think of that and know that it could always be worse. And just to reflect on that, and think about that, and not to beat yourself up, because no matter what you're going through, it wasn't put in your life for you not to overcome it and achieve it. It's something for you to ultimately gain realization, and gain some knowledge off that and from that. And that really has to do with the other tip also. Be thankful for the little things. And that ties in with, like I said, with the previous one, because man, some people don't even have the type of the access to things that some people may not have. Just be thankful that you are even able to wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Some people don't even wake up in the morning. Somebody mama ain't wake up this morning. Somebody dad didn't wake up this morning. Somebody aunt didn't wake up this morning. Somebody uncle. You get it? You know what I mean? Some people may not even have shoes. And you stressing over, you didn't get the new Jordan 1 Travis Scott's off the sneaker app. Be thankful that you even have shoes to put on your feet. Just little things like that, because that ties in with the previous one, because things could always, be worse. And when you learn to appreciate the little things like that in life, you're overall just going to have a more mental clarity, and be able to not beat yourself up, because you know that it could always be worse, and just even having the access to these things, it will show you, that you should be thankful, because most people don't even have these things that, you have access to. You know what I mean? So just think of that, and observe that, because that's true. Most people have their different, financial upbringings in general, from different people. And sorry about that. As I was saying, when you grow to learn to be thankful for the little things in life, you're overall just gonna have a better out output on life, and a better open mindedness, and a more clear mentality, a more clear mind, because you understand that some people, don't really have it as good as you, and you just grow to appreciate that, and you'll be able to support yourself, and get through whatever problem, and just know, it could be worse. So that's tip number 5, and the couple of bonuses in there. So tip number 6, and I'm not really gonna go into this too much, because it's just straight to the point and simple. Be there for yourself, because nobody else will. I mean, do I even have to say any more? You know what I mean? And I know this sounds selfish, and very, antisocial, and things of that nature. And it sounds cliche too, but at the end of the day, it's true, man. Because, and also, it kind of sounds like you have bad trust issues, and don't trust people, but it's true, because most people, you can't rely on people, because most people won't be there to support you when you're going through something, drastic, and you may need a helping hand from somebody, and you know, you could be going through something, and somebody may not be there to support you mentally, or, spiritually, physically, in that type of way, or anything. And, financially, things of that nature, just in general. Just, be there for yourself, because, most of the people that or maybe in your circle, won't really be there for you when it gets down to the nitty gritty, and, you may need a helping hand. So, like I said, I wasn't really going to try to explain that too much, because, you know, do I really have to? You know what I mean? That's the main factor right there. So, with that being said, that's 6 tips on how to support yourself more. Um, Leave some more tips down in the comments if you have some, and you know, let me know. We can go over and converse that. But make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And peace out.